Hey, y'all.
Hey.
It's The Link Up. It's Raina, Jasmine, and Lauren. It's The Link Up. We're back again. The podcast created for the melanated millennials maneuvering our way through life.
Yes.
Y'all, love LA, but it's humid here today.
It's
like,
humid.
what's going
This
on?
is not what I expected.
Look, let me tell y'all just about my LA experience the second I got off the airplane.
Uh-huh.
So we're staying, for those of you that don't know, at the beautiful SLS Hotel. It's a gorgeous hotel, but when it comes time for me to call my Uber, I'm like, man, I feel like they're gonna be expecting me to roll up there in a Uber Black.
Yeah. right.
You can't come up in there with
Right.
no Prius.
Yeah.
An Uber Black is what they're expecting.
Yeah,
Sure.
I looked at my Uber options, pulled it up. I saw the Uber Black price. I said,
Not today.
not in this budget today. We gonna get the Uber pool. Not even the Uber X.
Not even by yourself.
Since you pulled?
I pulled.
You do what you gotta do.
Look,
Yes.
a budget is a budget.
Facts.
Okay, don't try to go broke. Try to
Respect
keep up
your
with
budget.
these people. Respect your
I
budget.
think that's the quote of the day.
Yeah.
A budget
It's a budget.
Yeah.
is a budget, y'all.
Respect your
A budget
budget.
is a budget.
So fine, whatever. I got in my Uber pool and I was like, we'll just see how this goes. Got in
Is
my
that why it
Uber
took you
pool.
so long to get to us?
That's why it took so long.
dropping off
I
the
was like
whole
15
LA.
minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah, 30
Because
stops.
obviously I thought it was gonna be okay, I was the first person dropped off, but I had the furthest distance. So when my Uber pool got to the SLS hotel, there was 3 other people in the car.
So you had an audience.
So it took so long
Yeah.
just because of the general LA traffic.
Yeah.
But it was a full Calvary all the way to the SLS hotel.
Oh my God.
All the way.
Yes.
And so when I got there, I was hoping to be the last one dropped off, but that just didn't happen because I could have just been like, oh, well, Uber X, let me get out. But no, my whole pool pulled up at the SLS hotel. And so they all come rushing out because the customer service is
On point.
Right.
Let me run to the car, get everyone's bags out. People are like, whoa. They were taking other people's bags out of the car. I was like, stop, this is a pool.
Oh.
They were like,
Oh my
okay.
God.
What is Uber
That's
pool?
crazy.
And look, I got out and I was like, thank you, I need my bags to be directed to my room, so let's
Right,
keep it moving.
right, let's go.
And you know what? My pool was amazing. It saved me $75.
Okay.
Shout out to Earl, you did amazing, sweetie. Okay?
Earl, love you.
Earl, Mr.
Thank
Earl.
you. Thank you for getting me to my destination for less than half the cost.
Yes. Yes.
Triple less than what it would have cost me if I took that ridiculous Uber Black. Don't go broke
No.
trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Okay.
Take your pool.
Absolutely.
Take your pool.
Take your pool.
That is hilarious.
And know your budget is a budget.
And I'm here. I'm here.
In LA taking pools. That's hilarious. Well, guys, it is time for our my favorite part of the podcast, our BBWA moment, our being Black in white America moment. Who has it this time?
Well, I do.
Okay.
But I think that you should let the listeners know who our moment is sponsored by. Because,
You're right.
disrespecting the
You're
ancestors
right.
a little
and
bit.
I will never, ever want to do that. So, guys, honestly, today, tomorrow, next week, and next month, I want you guys to know that this moment is brought to you by none other than the magnificent, phenomenal ancestors.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, ancestors.
I will take this one. So I'm going to try to word it in a way where I don't reveal too much because once again, a lot of our BBWA moments happen at work. And honestly, this BBWA moment is a little different because it happened by, I would say, one of our own.
Okay.
So I'm at work and I'm trying to help this lady who has an extremely disabled son.
Okay.
She has some money that is entitled to her and she's trying to get it because she's struggling. And she's at her wit's end.
Oh, wow.
And so I contact someone, my client, someone I guess that's not in a supervisory position with my client. And, I talked and said, hey, we're just trying to figure out ways to help this lady. And I was like, well, would it help if I filled out this, got this motion signed by a judge? And they were like, absolutely, that would be great. So typed it up, presented it before the court, got it signed. And so then I got an email from someone higher up. And this email, it was from a Black higher up guy. And he goes, we need to schedule a conference call. And I'm like, why can't you just call me? Like, why do we need to schedule a conference call? So we had to schedule a conference call with Julia. And I was like, okay, great. Okay, Julia, me, you, and Julia.
Right.
We'll schedule a conference call. So he gives me this random long number. Why? I don't know. Why they just couldn't call me in three-way. Maybe they don't have Flash. I don't know. And so I call in, and I'm thinking that they're all about to be about helping me help this lady that is in a very vulnerable position right now.
Because that's what it's about.
Because that's what this is all about, right?
Right.
So I get on the phone and I'm like, hi, yada, yada. So he starts the phone conversation with, let me tell you what you did wrong.
The black guy is telling you
Yeah,
this?
he told me.
Wow.
And then I realized that he was trying to grandstand in front of Julia. And so I said, God, I messed up because I didn't meditate that morning. So I was all for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I had time.
You showed up at my doorstep, baby. I'm about to open the door for you.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Okay.
So I said, I'm going to let you need to hold on really quick because let me tell you what my problem is.
Yeah.
I talked for about 10 minutes. I went back and forth with him and I said, you are employed. You are an employee. It should not be harder to contact you than it would be to contact Beyonce or Jay-Z.
Right.
When I needed you, I couldn't find you.
Yeah.
And the only time that you could find me is when you wanted to tell me what you thought I did wrong. And we just went back and forth, and he was like, do you think that I got here by magic? I was like, I don't really care how you got there, but I can tell you what you're not going to do.
Right.
Okay.
You may behave this way there, but you're over here now, and it doesn't work that way.
Right.
So, I had to check him because I was so shocked that this man was going to try to use his position to belittle me. He thought I was going to bow down and basically be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Not today.
Yeah.
Not today. And in fact, I then followed up with an email. To all of them. I CC'd everybody.
Good.
Right.
Because y'all playing, I'll put the head of the state on here.
Right.
I don't care. If I find a governor email, I'll put him on there too.
It's sometimes to be your own people.
Y'all, I was so shocked that this man was doing this. And it was like, I'm trying to help someone.
Yeah.
That's our sole purpose.
End of the day.
And you're really coming at me like this for what? To show out?
Right.
Don't do that in front of the non-melanated people that already disrespect me in different types
In
of
different
ways.
types
So
of
now they
ways.
see this disrespect and maybe they think they could talk to me like that too.
Yeah, and so
Trying to
that's why.
stop.
Yeah, and that's why I had to check you because he had to get checked so that she knows that she does not need to cross that line either. And now I think he's very clear of my standing, and I'm looking for him at the next CLE.
We're looking for you.
Where are you at?
And you know what? I think his name was similar to like a Melvin. He looked like a Melvin.
He looked like a Melvin.
He looked like a
Of
Melvin.
Of course. Of course. Can't trust the Melvins.
Can't trust him, but it's okay. We're gonna cross paths, and I'll make sure that happens.
So today, we're going to be talking a little bit about one of my favorite Jigga lyrics. Okay?
Okay.
You ready?
Let's hear 'em.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman.
All right now.
Okay. All right.
I'm a businessman. And so,
The topic seems fitting.
listen, especially when we introduce our guests, okay? So with that, we're gonna be talking about culture pushing, we're gonna be talking about influencing, and a little bit of entrepreneurship, and obviously because my girl is spiritual just like we are, our little faith and purpose are gonna be involved as well. And so there's no other person to talk about this with than my sister, my good sis, the queen of LA, by way of Compton, California.
Okay, come through.
The culture pusher, influencer, mogul, Miss Diddy LA.
You love it.
I feel like we should have been in an arena for that introduction. It was arena worthy.
Literally.
Yeah.
My favorite Miss Diddy quote is, I turned my lifestyle into my business.
I did say that.
Know that. Oh, you know you said that.
I like that.
That quote has inspired me literally since I first heard it 2 years ago. So I'm so excited to get into this topic with my sis, Miss Diddy.
Real sis.
Real sis, almost blood,
Real.
basically.
Yes, basically blood. For real, for real. Hi guys, you guys look gorgeous.
Thank you. So do you.
Did you get the kicks?
Got some
Zoom in on those kicks. Okay.
Look, did you get these games?
These are amazing.
Some throws with the G's. I'm happy to be here with you guys.
Thank you so much for coming.
Of course, of course.
So, obviously, we're gonna start with, who is Miss Diddy? How did Miss Diddy become the girl from Compton to the queen of Hollywood and beyond?
Let us know, please.
Let us know,
We
queen.
want to know.
We don't have an answer.
Oh
No, I mean, I don't know. I just worked really hard and did what I was supposed to do, and it, just stayed true to exactly who I am. A lot of people say that, but it's like, they don't really mean that because they don't even know who they are. But I really just is exactly who I am, and it just progressed to what it was supposed to, with some hard work in it and some prayer.
Yeah.
I like that.
Definitely. So what does your work entail? What do people know Miss Diddy for?
I think that they know me for being an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I think that I'm known for being pretty outspoken about my faith with God and my relationship with God. And I think that people know me as someone who really moves the needle or shifts things or shifts the culture, and a person that's able to make things really happen.
For sure. For sure.
So when you say entrepreneurship, what got you into wanting to be an entrepreneur? Because I know we have a lot of listeners and a lot of people that kind of have these 9-to-5s and they're very interested in becoming an entrepreneur, but kind of don't know when to make that shift, don't know what signs they should follow, and really what to do to make that next step.
I mean, it depends on what you're here to do, because some people are called to actually work 9-to-5s, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
There's still a part of an American dream that is, you know what I mean? And
Right.
then, I just asked God for my purpose, and that was revealed in that. And I don't have a great enough attitude to really be trying to follow rules. But it just didn't really work for me.
It wasn't for you.
I
The
really want to do that, you know? But I mean, timeliness, all the things that I was always great at in corporate is what 100% assisted me in entrepreneurship. So I was always on time. I always was presentable.
Yeah.
When I showed up, I showed up. All of those things those are the tests while you're working for someone else, if you should even work for yourself.
Right.
If you just are just rebellious and just saying, oh, I'm not coming to work now, I want to, I should be an entrepreneur. It's like, no, that's really not how it works, because you need to show up on time when you're an entrepreneur.
Right.
So but rules and things like that, I was like, I probably want to do it this way.
Right.
This way probably makes more sense for me to do it.
Right.
So before you made that jump, do you feel like there was something that came over you? Or was like, I just can't do it anymore? Or
No, it wasn't I can't do it anymore, because I loved my job. I worked in insurance. I loved corporate. I love everything about corporate environment. I'm a structured person, I like smart people. I like intelligence. I like, all of those things. I like goals. Well, goals that'll look like something else, and
Right.
But I just asked God for my purpose, and that's what He told me to leave, and I did.
Okay.
So that was more. It wasn't like, oh, I can't do it no more, I'm just done.
Right.
Because I don't think that's the right spirit to leave as well. I think it's like,
100%.
no, I'm leaving because this no longer makes sense for the business model of my life.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which doesn't have to be, I hate my manager, I hate the world, I'm out. I'm still cool with all my managers. Anyone that's ever hired me, I'm literally still cool with them. Still talk to them. Robert Giambavo, Italian man, I love him to death. He hired me when I was in insurance.
Yeah.
Greg McFarland, Shalonda Lewis. I know everyone, that I was cool with my coworkers. I'm still cool with a lot of my old coworkers, everything like that. So I think that, it didn't work anymore for the business model of my life.
It didn't personally serve you anymore.
And kind of
Okay.
getting to that, what Jasmine has said, turning your lifestyle into a business.
Yeah.
Honestly, before I met you today, I've heard this quote from Jasmine. She has told us, because it is amazing, someone who is able to turn their lifestyle, how they roll, how they move every day, into a profitable business.
Right. Profitable.
That is honestly the dream.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How?
I don't know, because that's tough, because that's not going to be everyone's story.
Right.
And I think that people, just like everyone shouldn't be an entrepreneur, just like, you know what I mean? Just like everyone, this whole word brand is whored out now, you know, but it's like, that doesn't mean you're a brand.
Yeah.
And it's okay, you know what I mean? I just
That's the piece, it's okay.
It's okay. No, it's super okay, because you have a place in the world. That just doesn't mean that you're to be in front of the space and people will accept it as such, because, I grew up in Los Angeles, California. So everything about my life and how I grew up is fully culture based. I grew up in Compton, one of the most influential cities, period. Now everyone cares and loves Compton, and we have incredible people that's come out of this city. You know what I mean? And like, you know, it's a story around it. Everything about my life is a lifestyle which the world wants to be a part of or focus on or pay attention to. You know what I mean? Like, they put cameras in our hood, in South Central, Menace to Society, like all of those films, you know what I mean? And like, then Hollywood, everyone wants to come to Hollywood and become something. So my lifestyle and how I really live, it just actually really is the business that the rest of the world wants to be a part of. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that's not everybody, and that's okay.
Yeah, for sure. And to put a pin on brand, right? And how trendy that word is now.
Oh, it's so trendy.
It's
Yeah.
so
Oh,
trendy.
yeah. Everybody.
So trendy. And so one thing that I always tell people about you is that you've been doing this. Like when people say before hashtags, like I've seen it in action, right? In your relationships and the way you move and your influence is very, very evident of that, you know. So walk us through a little bit of when that started for you and what you did and how you made that transition.
I think people get caught up in trying to be something that they really are not. I'm literally exactly how I've been my whole entire life. You know what I mean? Like, on and off the court. You know what I'm saying? Jazz has seen me on and off the court. Like, is the way I kind of describe it. Like, in personal settings, in business settings, like, I'm just exactly who I am. And so people want authenticity. You know, that's what their soul craves for. Even when they want something fake, their soul craves for authenticity and things. So if they feel it and they connect to it, then it makes sense. You know what I mean? I also don't treat someone else different just because of where their status is in life. So I don't care who you are, what you are, how much money you have, or nothing like that. My people standing next to me, that's where my people gonna stand. Ain't nobody moving around because you're the celebrity of so-and-so. I don't care about none of that. We all God's children, and we gonna respect each other. So I demand a certain amount of like honor and regard and respect, no matter where I am. So I think that's just, you know, that shines through, and people know who they could get over and who they can't. Like, I'm not even a person that somebody be like, I'm gonna try to play Diddy like that. It's like, nah, bro.
You are
honestly.
Another thing, my second favorite Miss Diddy gem is that.
Drop it for us. Let the people know.
But seriously, I cried for my purpose. And so even as I'm in my space of restructuring and purpose and process and all of that, that's something that rings in my ear. Even during my prayer time, I'm like, my sis cried for her purpose. And it makes me seek harder and go harder, you know what I'm saying? And be more vulnerable and transparent. And so talk to us about purpose.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on what you want in life. You know, not everybody wants to like for me, I always wanted to be like the number one person of everything and the greatest and the most excellent. And that was just something I demanded of myself. It had nothing to do with the world putting that demand on me or anybody else. And that's where people get lost and hurt and sad because they don't have any true like demands of themselves. Like, you know, figure what that thing is in yourself. So even when I was seeking my purpose and crying and worshiping and at the altar and figuring that out, I didn't know what I was asking for. I just know I was asking for something more of God. And I think that when you ask for more of God, that's what he drops down, and not till he sees that you're ready for that. Because there's a long time that I begged for him to release me. Like, okay, let me go, I'm ready. And it was like, nah, bro, you're not ready yet because you don't even know what's about to be on this other side of this door.
Right.
So that's when people get fired, people get laid off. I get so excited, and I try not to show them that because you're in emotional spaces and you're like, how could you? I'm like, nah, your life is about to begin. You know what I mean? That's the piece of being chosen. Like, you don't even understand what's on the other side of that door. It's, you know, it's freedom, it's financial freedom, it's you're able to take care of your family. Like, if I didn't make the hard choices and sacrifices I did in the way I seek God for where I am now, I wouldn't be able to take care of my family. I wouldn't be, you know, I don't know where I would be. I was making great money in insurance. I had my little, you know, my Beamer coupe and my crib. Like, I was always good. So, but it was so much more, and I didn't even know there was more until like I begged and then I saw.
So good.
Gosh, so good.
So good.
So good.
No,
I'm like,
we long for that.
we long for for that. I mean, literally, that is goals, especially like millennials now. Like everyone is on this entrepreneurship route. Everyone really,
But it's a kick.
it is,
They
right?
don't even know what that means, dog. That's a kick.
Yeah,
They're infatuated with the very sexy part of entrepreneurship.
exactly. Exactly. And I was actually reading this study, and they were saying that millennials do think that entrepreneurship is more of a mindset than a role. But are people in the mindset?
That's interesting.
Are people in the mindset though?
They don't know what it is, though.
Exactly. Tell us about the mindset.
I don't even know, child. Because I don't know, because no one sat me down and was like, this is the way it should go.
Yeah.
You know, that's why for me, everything is like God-driven, because I still learn every day. I don't know everything. Like, I have no, Jasmine's been through some real serious things with me in my business, some real tough times, and like, you know, I didn't know, you know, but thank God she knew something because of her degree, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's about the link up, you know, with like-minded people, and then people that know more than you. Like, I don't know half of the things that she knows in law and things like that. I don't know what you know. I don't, you know, but that's the grace in it, and hopefully you find someone that is like that. But I think that with young people now, I feel so old when I say that, but it's true, because I'm in my 30s now, like, the hard work part, you can't cheat that.
Right.
That'll never
You cannot
ever be
finesse
something.
that.
You can't. Instagram has nothing to do.
Yes.
The hard work,
Yeah.
the real true 10,000 hours, which I think is really like 50,000 hours that you have to put in. Like, you can never, ever, ever cheat that. That's the quiet time. Like, people be like, oh, you doing your thing, I see you working so hard. It's like, bro, you don't even know that quarter of how hard
okay.
I
Literally.
really work. Like, I still had to be on time this morning. I'm on an hour conference call with Baron Davis, and I'm on a whole nother hour conference. Like, they don't, and that's the stuff no one sees. You know what I mean? Like, building up full-on companies. All right, what's the next? Hold on, let me get my brain in. Let me wrap my brain in what you're saying, because I'm trying to put my eyebrows on right now. What? And you're talking about me about life-changing things. I'm trying to put my brow on. Hold on, wait, what?
Give me a
Okay,
minute.
FaceTime me, wait, what? Okay, now, right, so we do it that way. You know what I mean? And like, that's countless. That's like up super, super early to take care of the email, so that when I'm here, I'm not in my brain like, oh, girl, what about that song, that email I was supposed to email back? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, we always talk about that, like that work for it piece. Because
Yeah.
like you can pray about it, I can
Please,
get
you
on
can
my
pray,
knees, I can go
girl.
to church.
Shout.
What am I gonna do if I'm not working?
I'm just sitting on the couch, like,
Talking about God, bring it to me.
It's not going to come.
I'm not working, I'm not doing anything for
Nah.
myself.
And then blaming everybody.
Right.
That'd be the worst.
That
That
part,
blame
though.
everybody.
Blaming people because you're
That-
not putting in the work.
That victimized mind frame, you can never be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It's so
Cut it
many
out.
hits I take that people will never see, that has nothing to do with me, not my fault at all, and I'm gonna take them, boom, I'm gonna move forward.
Yes.
Hits, like,
Yes.
Jazz knows.
Yeah.
Jazz knows. Hits, like, oh, that was a real hit. Like, okay, that was a blow. Okay, you trying to take me out with that one. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now I'm on my knee. Okay, whew, I'm actually out of breath with that one. You know what I'm saying?
1 second. You know?
Right, no, 1 second, let me hold this and get it together, but I
Yeah.
still gotta show up.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not blaming anybody for anything,
Yeah.
even when it is their fault.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm sorry. We're probably not gonna work well together.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Literally.
Yeah.
So much. No, literally. And another thing that I've seen just had a front row seat to was just your discipline. You know, and that's
Yeah.
another area.
So
And obviously, you know,
important.
that's an expression of hard work. But
Yeah.
I will never forget we were talking and it's like, yes, I am an entrepreneur, but I'm up every morning.
Every
You
morning.
know, just because it's Monday and I had to go out last night and I may have to do something else tonight, another
Up.
event, but I'm up because you are reporting to your dreams as if your dreams are your boss. Your purpose
good
is your
moment.
boss. God is your boss, right? So
Yeah.
that's your accountability.
Right.
So for some entrepreneurs who are struggling with that discipline piece, what advice could you give them?
You gotta get, you gotta, it's inside of you. Either you figure out how to be serious about life, or you don't. That don't got nothing to do with nobody else. Your mama can't teach you. Your folks can't. You don't even. Me trying to give some advice is meaning that you're not ready yet. Discipline is
That's
something
fair.
you got to figure
That's
out
fair.
on your own.
Yeah.
Like, I've always been, growing up in school, I was super smart, and I would be a procrastinator. If like my report was due on Thursday, maybe Wednesday, I was like, all right, when I'm about
get
to
this
write
down
out?
quick.
Okay, let me just, you know what I mean? Because I was just naturally smart. I didn't apply myself as much as I should have, you know. And as an adult, I knew that could hinder me. I knew that could hurt me. I knew that could cost me, you know. So as a result of that, that's what I worked on. Like, no, let me do it right now. Let me wake up earlier. Let me do all of those things. Like, I don't even use an alarm clock. I haven't used an alarm clock in like 12 years.
Your body clock knows.
It's a sense of duty. You got to get up.
Yeah.
I haven't used an alarm clock in like 12 years.
Ooh.
Probably a little longer.
Wow.
Haven't.
I need to level up.
Yeah.
You have to.
I have
Because it's like, what are you still asleep for?
Why are you still
Why are
sleeping?
you still asleep?
There's money to be made. There's
I
things
lost
to
a
do.
whole, like, I never talk about this, but it's somebody I was really close. I lost a whole friend behind it. Like, how are you still asleep? It's like, it's 11. It's so late.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you feel something inside of you to get up? Yeah. I literally don't even have an alarm clock in my house. I don't use it on my phone, nothing. I don't even know how to find it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even if I have to catch a flight early, everything, I'd be like, I'm up.
That's like old school, traditional, like real hardcore.
Self-taught.
Our grandparents, like my grandfather told me the same thing when I was in Minnesota
Yeah.
a few months ago. He was like, I don't use an alarm clock.
Why
My
do you
body
that for?
clock. You think I had an alarm
Yes.
clock 50 years ago? I'm up,
Okay.
getting to the money. Like, so that's a different level. You're built different.
Built different.
Period. Point blank. Listen,
That's why you here.
Exactly. So when I found out that we were going to be interviewing you, I did some Instagram stalking.
What you find, girl?
No, and let me tell you what I appreciate so much about you and what I feel like I relate to and all of us do from being lawyers and being in a very male-dominated industry, trying to still make it and work twice as hard sometimes to be seen when they don't necessarily have to. And that's exactly what you are. You are a black woman in a very male-dominated industry and you're killing it. And so what sort of obstacles do you think you faced and how have you just been able to completely knock them down?
I don't even be looking at obstacles.
My girl said she don't see them.
I don't,
There you go.
bro.
Next
You know
level.
why? That's
Next
why
level.
It's so important to stay close to God because things can make you bitter, upset, pissed off, all that. And it's like, I'm not even about to be dealing with y'all, you know. And I'm still like really hood. So it's like for me, it's like, wait, what? Oh, okay, cool.
Either we're
And
gonna
I'm
go all the way there,
and
or-
that's and Jazz has too. I'm super witty, so my mouth would be like. So wait, what was? Oh, okay, cool. Because I thought that I know you didn't say. Got it.
There's no way you
It's
said
no way because you wouldn't say that.
Exactly.
You know. So obstacles with men, though. I mean, I think that I couldn't even foresee you guys having anything outside of what are kind of like the obvious things of maybe pay, which is horrible, or like, you know, opportunities. Well, I guess that is what it is. I think of respect first, and I can't see that you got, but no, I can because you know what it is? I think it's more of a race thing sometimes with me when it comes to those type of moments. But I'm trying to think because I don't know, man. I'm a little too hood still, and you know, in my spaces, I'm able. That's why I had to be an entrepreneur because I'm able to kind of push the envelope a little more on what I'm saying, or the energy that I ensure that you feel when you're next to me if you're a little out of line, you know. So like, I think that in you guys' setting sometimes it's really tough to do that, because those boys clubs could really like push you out or put, you know, and I think that's sucky, man. I want to help y'all with that and figure out how we can like
Move past it.
or not, I don't think it's move past it because it'll be tough to ever move past it, but it'll be tough to ever get rid of it. Let me tell you why. Not because I don't believe in the greater power of women and all of this, but because it's so engraved in the personality of the world, of the culture for years. You know, we couldn't vote. It's not, so you got to think about where this kind of stems from, and that's where I look at things too. So it's engraved in the personality of the understanding of genders. So that's a tough thing to get rid of versus really understanding, hey guys, this is what it's going to look like shifting, moving forward. And you know what, maybe it's also, because I say race because I remember when Trump got in office, got elected, the day he got elected, and I remember it being so somber and sad and kind of dark in the air, right? I'm just being across the board. It wasn't even just like a race thing.
Yeah.
And I had to do a walkthrough that day. And it was at a building in Hollywood, and the young lady who was doing the walkthrough with me, she was a white girl. And it was weird because we both in a moment just kind of stopped and looked at each other like, dang, you know, instead of me having this air about me, which I would possibly have in this wake of how the country felt with my race and your race, we both kind of was like, they just had a moment and talk. So I think sometimes when those things happen with men, because men are a lot more sensitive than we are, and they're insecure and their egos are, we can mess up a man's ego like that, and the only way he can do is to come back full force. It's pulling someone to the side. Let's have a conversation. Maybe, you know, you've never got a chance to know me and understand my story. And it's kind of taking a bigger approach that way with those specific males, and it may work and it may not. But it may work in a really good way.
Right.
And then another man, I don't want to know you at all. All right, well, now I'm just going to pray about you. You don't want me to pray about you. Because praying about you, you don't want me to do that. I'm trying to get it before it gets to my father. If it gets to my father, I'm not going to be able to touch it.
I don't have any hands on it.
I don't have none. I'm trying to help you out with this thing right now, bro.
Right.
You know? So maybe it's that moment. Like, oh, you're one of my toughest moments as I walk in the office. Let me have a conversation. Hey, you want to go to lunch, Melvin? Let me talk to you. Let's talk. It's Melvin.
Melvin, come on, Melvin.
It's Mel.
Yeah. But how do you deal with like those big issues of like the over sexualization of us? So like in the industry, in our industry, oh, you made it this way. What did you do to get there?
I don't deal with that because I dare someone to ask me something like that.
How dare you?
But it's also like, I do what I want, boo. But you can only do what you want when you're a boss. And that's something that people have to also understand. And the double standard in life when it comes to men and women is true, but it is. And instead of fighting that part of it, like, I can be what I want to be, it's just like, no, just kind of have, you know, do what you need to do to be a woman, right? And I'm a side girl, I'll give you leg out, shoulder out, like the whole thing, I'm gonna get a whole moment. But I can carry that with my energy, right? So like, I can carry that's not something that I'm dealing with as an issue when I'm in public because my energy states that, like, you know? So I think that it's also important that we are ladies, whatever that looks like. And I'm not saying that a woman shouldn't be able to blah, 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 but there's responsibility with that. Like, I don't believe in the whole, like, I don't mean to name, I don't want to do this, but it's true. Like when, like the Amber Rose or like certain women that's like, oh, we're doing the slut walk and all this. It's like, wait, 1 second.
Yeah.
Because there's 18-year-old girls that are looking at y'all. And they don't need to dress like that because they haven't had enough life experience to handle what does come with that it comes with that. And that's unfair for them to be like, oh no, you can wear what you want, dresses. No, you can't. And that's okay. It's not that someone is trying to control you. It's just there's ways and manners to do things. You know what I mean? And I'm still a bit old school and kind of like a little Baptist-minded girl sometimes, so I believe in those things. But boo, trust me, I'm gonna give you a thigh, a leg out, and a shirt. I'm giving you all of that. But I'm also giving you lady class and etiquette, and I think that's really important to teach
young girls.
So instead of fighting the whole like, we're gonna put our breast out and be sexualized and leave us alone. It's like, well, let's also teach etiquette.
Let's
also teach them how to cross their legs.
The internal work, because it's the internal work that allows you to carry that.
That allows you to carry that.
It allows you to walk into a room with a split, a shoulder, or whatever.
I don't even be dealing with none of it.
Exactly.
You know? But I don't like that other women do, and I think it's not fair and it's hurtful, but that's why I had to be an entrepreneur. But what you looking at?
Gotta be a boss.
I'm sorry, what'd you say to me?
Right, I'm giving all
do
of
what
that.
you want when you're a boss.
That's why I be in the house talking to the Lord, because I give all that. I give all that. What are you looking at?
I'm sorry? She will give a smile in a second.
No, it's that smile.
Literally. So, Miss Diddy, is there a mantra or a scripture or a saying that you hold close to your heart, you know, when in times of rejection or disappointment or discouragement? What do you stand on?
I don't know. I'll be like, God, you gonna fix it or what? Like, I don't really want to do this no more.
Let's talk real quick.
I'm a little over this.
Actually.
No, I mean, I'm a big worshiper. So I don't think there's anything like in particular. You know what? No, I'm like, one time when I was younger, I was going through something and my bishop said, God sees you and he hears you. And that stuck with me because I think sometimes we're not certain. You know what I mean? Like, but he sees and he hears you. And I think that's really important, you know? And just understanding that these things happen in life and you gotta continue, because if Jesus suffered in love, like, who are we not to? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So with that weight of your purpose, you know, and weight not meaning it in a bad way, but it's real, that responsibility, because you know that your position and your purpose is God ordained. And because it's God ordained, there are people that are assigned to you and assigned to your purpose, assigned to your impact.
Assigned to my impact.
Sick of it.
Sick of it.
Sick.
You know, and in lieu of that, it sometimes it can be heavy and it can be tiring. So
extremely heavy.
Extremely heavy, and especially when you are dealing with it in the context of Hollywood and entertainment, because you are literally fighting against. You know, the Bible says that come on, you already know where I'm going with this. You know where I'm going with this. That we fight not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and spirits and higher places. So what does that look like or feel like for you?
I'm not always sure, because I'm not always sure in the moment of it, because I don't operate from that space. So sometimes it takes me time, like, oh, that's what that was. Oh, that's what that looks like. Oh, you jealous. Oh, that's, you know, and what I had to get about me is tough skin. But tough skin in the sense of, if your season is up in my life, baby, we're going to have to let you go and release you. And let God be with you. And be okay with that.
There you go. Be okay with it. That's the thing.
But, you know, if you want, it depends on where you want to be in life. That's why I always say, people, where much is given, much is required. You want to be in these certain places and these worlds and rooms, and you want to get to these certain heights, it requires some real tough decisions. It requires things of you. And a lot of times that requires, when the moment is over with certain people, or they gotta go. And you have to, that's one of the things I had to really learn and get stern about, and really realize, like, nah, bro, I choose God. So like, I may look bad to you right now in this moment, but you're gonna have to learn your lesson on your own floor. Because I didn't learn mine on my floor.
Right.
You know?
We talk about that all the time, toxic people, and like how hard it is to let them go, especially if it's like your close friend, maybe your family member.
Girl,
but in order to make it to the next level, I need to have that conversation with God and know I need to let this toxicity release it, get out of my life.
But before it even gets toxic, you should be letting it go.
Facts.
That's what people gotta understand.
Look for those warning
liabilities, all of those early on, you need to pay attention. Because I've allowed things to be in my world a little too long, and it's cost me some things Jazz knows. You know, and it's like toxic. Like, nah, I don't let nobody be, I don't have nothing toxic around me, bro. Like, you can't even get to that place in my life. Like, you halfway there before I'm like, And I don't got nothing to say. I'm not gonna ever say anything bad. No, even if you want to, that's on you, because that's for God to fix all that. I don't have control over my life. I ain't gonna be trying to control you in that narrative. Like, go with God, do as you please, and I'm gonna continue to do what I need to do over here. You know, but you gotta be able to let things go and let people go. You have to. You have to. It costs you so much. It costs me money, time, emotions, all that's like, why would I give that to you? You didn't even work for my emotions. Like, I'm gonna give that to you, like, freely? No, you could go over there.
Not at all. And lastly, like, one thing that I just truly believe that is a part of your niche is, and we've touched on it, it's who you are at the core. You know, it's your internal. It's the internal work that you do before you step out into into any space, be it an interview, be it a meeting, be it a walkthrough, or the club. You know what I'm saying? That internal work that you do. And so for some people, sometimes that's a struggle for people. Let's say this: sometimes people don't even understand that the product of what you're seeing is that of tears, sacrifice, prayers,
hard work,
crying, begging God for purpose. So for someone who's trying to find their way, for someone who is compelled by the sexiness of entrepreneurship or even this lifestyle, this influencer lifestyle, you know, because that's another trendy, excuse me.
Truly.
Trendy word. Influencer, you know, but because you've been in the game so long, you were an influencer before there was a thing, you know, and so for someone trying to find their way, what's the path? What's the route?
You gotta figure out your own road. It's not anybody else's path, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta just figure out your own road and do the work to figure it out. Don't expect things from anyone. People don't have to figure out anything anymore because there's like Google. You know, so everything's fast. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I had encyclopedias growing up. You know, like that's how the sources, like that's how you, dictionaries, that's how you figure things out. So there was a longer process. There's no process anymore.
Right.
The process.
Everybody wants something fast.
No process. Well, this has been, man, amazing. You know, my heart is just.
No, this has been great. You're great. Like your energy is amazing.
Seriously, your energy is giving us everything.
Challenge anything that's around you just by your presence.
Yeah.
You require light. You require respect.
Yes.
And that's something that we're missing in our generation. So your spirit is necessary. The internal work that you've done is not in vain. So in lieu of all of that, I want to highlight for this very important part of our podcast, our Shine Sis moment.
Yes.
So
Shine Sis.
every podcast we have a Shine
Sis.
Sis moment.
Yes.
We highlight a woman, an African American woman who exhibits that which we've discussed in our topic for the day. And so it's obvious. It's a given that our Shine Sis
Who else is it gonna go to?
today.
Come on now.
It's you. And for all the reasons that we've stated, just like I said, the energy that you carry speaks volumes, speaks more than what you will ever say or ever have to say.
Don't do this to me. You know,
Because of what you carry. No, seriously.
No, you do.
So
No, it's true.
we need you. Our generation needs you.
Yeah.
You know, we always, listen, we have plans. You need to be teaching there's so much more that God has in store for you. You're a general. You really are.
It's
in
your
our culture.
spirit. You just walked in and I was like, oh my God, I feel so comfortable.
We've known each other
Like,
for what,
I don't even
45
know.
minutes? 45 minutes or less, and I feel your spirit. For real. 100% feel your spirit. What you're doing is amazing.
Yeah.
So many women, including us, look up to you.
Yeah.
Honestly, we can't thank you enough.
Cannot.
Don't cry, girl. I will start crying too. Don't cry.
Right, and I don't even cry.
We will all start crying. Look, get the cards out, y'all. Get the cards. Start wiping. Someone get her a card.
Seriously though, you need people in your life like Miss Diddy, and even just our culture in a sense. So listen, shine, sis. Keep shining.
Yes.
Keep shining, sis.
Keep shining, sis.
Shining. Keep shining. Keep teaching us. We're watching. We're looking. Whether we're close in Compton
Or we're Instagram stalking you. We're watching you.
I'm with it.
We're watching you.
Shine. So to close us out, Miss Diddy, if you could, if there was anything that you wanted to leave with those watching or listening to us today, is there a word for our generation right now?
Really just believe God. Believe God for everything that you want in your life. It's not like a preachy thing or anything. It's really a practical thing. It's a lifestyle thing. It's a real thing. It's not like it's no longer like the whole, like your great grandmother is praying for you and all this. Like, no, we're those people now. So you should be, like doing your best to like strengthen up your prayer time and your prayer life and stuff like that, and having a true commitment to God, whatever that looks like. Going to church, stuff like that. I believe in all that. I go to church every Sunday. I don't play that unless I'm out of town, whatever the case may be. I worship every morning, and it's just believe God. Like, really, because for me, I don't have any other like anything. And I just want to commend you guys for your hard work and doing all the schooling that I could never read the amounts of words that you guys I'll be singing songs in my head in the middle of the sentence. I'll be like, Jazz, can you read through this, please? Like, oh wait, let me say that. But like, you guys are just amazing, you know what I mean? And what you guys are doing is very important also for the culture and for young Black women, not only just entrepreneurship, but to be attorneys and to be able to be, you guys have information that we need. Like, you guys are able to keep people from modern day slavery. Like, I'm just being, you know what I mean? So like, you got to understand your roles as well. And like I told her, like, you have to live in that space of being a lawyer, attorney, whatever you guys want to call yourselves. If there's other words that you guys use, but it's a very, very important thing. She knows. I introduce her. I barely say her name, but it's not. But she, you know, because that's really, really important about what you guys are doing, and young girls to know that your profession is very important, that they can do it too, and that they're needed. You know, I wouldn't be able to do anything without an attorney. You know, so I want you guys to feel encouraged about that too. And I'm super like obsessed with the concept. Like for me, I would love to say I was on the plane. Like no, I'm just legal firm, FD&T, and associates.
Your Honor.
And it's like, yeah, it's giving all of that. It's giving all of that. Walk in with the suit. You know, I love a bad suit. You know, it's all of that. So I want you guys to know that too.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much.
This has been great.
It has been. Yay!